Good afternoon, everyone. This is obviously not church. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I'm delighted to be here, but I was thinking as I flew in from Albany this morning with an impending epic storm, one for the ages, as one of our favorite Western New Yorkers, at least for a little while, Marv Levy used to say, "Where would you rather be than right here, right now?" So when there is a storm, I come. And I will say I'm very experienced in this matter, as is my team. So as we start off the program here, I want to recognize some of our speaking program, but also give an update on the impending weather. First of all, Mayor Ristino, it's been a pleasure to work with you. We are there at your swearing in, welcoming you to your new position, but you've been an amazing partner as we put forth transformative projects for the city of Niagara Falls, making up for decades of neglect, I would say. We had a great former mayor who worked very hard against a lot of trials and tribulations. He worked very hard, a great ally and friend of ours as well, and you stepped in the role beautifully. I want to thank you for that as well. And Mark Mistretta, the Regional Director of Western New York Parks. Mark, extraordinary work. We have been together so often. We are there for the groundbreaking and a progress check on the Welcome Center over at Niagara Falls and historic investments we've made there. And we're going to be there. I will be there in May for the ribbon cutting for what is going to be the welcome that people have deserved for a long time, an incredible welcome center. I also recognize Gary Siddall, the Aquarium of Niagara President and CEO. Gary, how are my little friends? I love the penguins. I love all of them, and I'll never forget the experience of having a overly friendly octopus greet me and wrapped his arms, or whatever you call them arms? Tentacles, okay, tentacles around my arm and tried to pull me into the water so we could be friends. So that's one of those memories I'll never forget. So hopefully we're going to go a little tamer today, which is great. And I also want to recognize Cindy Litro for her work on our state parks commission and all the work she does as well, and many friends here. But let's talk about what's coming. We knew this weather was going to be strong, forceful, and I'm going to call it the Hobbesian storm, in that it will be nasty, it will be brutish, and I hope to God it's short. So the forecast continues to worsen. I describe this as a kitchen sink event. Mother Nature is going to throw everything she has at us, and that means wind, ice, snow, freezing rain. It's going to be extraordinary, and the timeline has actually been shortened. It's now from tonight through Monday, and I'm talking about statewide right now, but there is great potential for flooding, something we need to be cognizant of. I just got off the phone with county executive polling cars. We're talking about what could happen down at Hoover Beach. We've seen that. I have to worry about also flooding coastal areas all the way from here to Lake Ontario down to the coastline of Long Island and the areas that are vulnerable along the Hudson Valley. So ice jams are going to be a problem. It's going to be flooding. It's going to be rough. Lake Erie could be 3 feet above flood level. That is going to wreak a lot of havoc in our community. High winds, 60 miles an hour expected, upwards of 75-mile-an-hour gusts, and that'll cause downed trees, power outages. It's going to be incredible. And the freezing temperature, the vacillation in weather, it's going to be dropping drastically over 35 degrees in some parts of our state, extremely low wind chills, and we'll have standing water and snow and dangerous road conditions. So Friday morning commute is going to be treacherous. So the rest of the state's going to be impacted very severely. And in our area, we're expecting blizzard warnings throughout the weekend, 1 to 3 feet of snow. So the message is, I see everyone sitting here, but if you're supposed to be somewhere else for the holidays, I'm going to let you leave right now, because you should not be sitting here if you need to travel. So I've already had to adjust my family plans, said, see you next time. We need to manage this storm because it's going to hit at a very peak time, a time when people do want to be on the roads and in airports and traveling to see their families. So last-minute shopping better be done. Road conditions are going to be horrific, and you will not want to be out there. So we're going to have widespread power outages. So I've described what's going to happen. I need to tell you next how we're prepared. We've been on calls nonstop all week in anticipation, watching what was coming from out west, not seeing any change in trajectory other than it's happening faster now. And so I want to say New York is ready to respond. All hands on deck, 24/7 operations centers are already stood up, coordinating with our local authorities, our county executives. Utility workers, we normally have 5,000. We have 7,500 already pre-positioned. Even before the first limb falls, we're ready to handle this, so we're preparing for that. Over 2,000 snowplows being deployed with our chainsaws and generators ready to be at all the traffic signals when they come down. So in anticipation of this, I'll be declaring a statewide emergency beginning at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll have a full traffic ban on the 190 from exit 56 to the Pennsylvania line at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So this means you better travel. This is a commercial travel ban, commercial trucks. But all truckers need to be aware. When they jackknife, especially those that are empty, it paralyzes the rest of the system. So there'll be a full commercial traffic ban beginning at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Also, we're having soft closures. What does that mean? Highly recommend you not travel. It's not a hard closure yet, but starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow, Route 219, Route 400, 290, 190, and Route 5 from Big Tree to the 190. So be anticipating that. Soft tandem truck ban on bridges down in the southern part of our state, downstate as well. So sorry to give you the depressing news. Stay home. Instead of the six-pack, get the eggnog. Finish wrapping those last-minute presents, but I want everyone to be safe. This is going to be a storm for the ages, hopefully brief in duration, and will not dump the 7 feet of snow we dealt with about 35 days ago. But luckily, as the first governor from Buffalo since Grover Cleveland, this is a skill set I have. So we're ready for this. We are ready for this. And now, to be able to come back here, even with a storm impending, is something I did not want to miss. I did not want to postpone this event because today looks spectacular. You go out and just go see the falls in the distance there. It's breathtaking. And I hope none of you who are locals ever get immune to the incredible wonder that is presented to us by this view that the rest of the world envies. That is what we have right here. And it is a gem. It is a wonder of the world in our backyard. And I've been here so many times as a child and bringing my own children, and now as the governor of the state of New York. This is one of the places that gives me the most pride. And this feat of Mother Nature is inspiring. And it feels like Mother Nature did her best to create this world. Are we doing our best? Are we doing our best with what we have to showcase this and to welcome people from around the world in a way that they'll be all in awe of not just the experience of seeing the falls, but also what it was like to get there and the experience in the neighborhoods and the community surrounding it, as well as the state park. Is that as awe-inspiring as those majestic falls are? So we can do more. We can do better. And even the city itself, not like any other city of upstate. They all declined for a long time. It was hard. When the jobs that powered this area, first electrified area, the power plant, brought lots of jobs, but a lot of the industries left. Foreign competition, people went south. It happened here. It happened all the way down to Lackawanna, where my family had worked at the steel plant. We know what that decline was like. And some areas are bouncing back. Some are taking a little bit longer. Niagara Falls has a story behind it that is extraordinary. We have to continue lifting up all the neighborhoods, giving people affordable, decent housing, taking care of those who have specific needs, those with mental health challenges and substance abuse challenges, and our veterans. We have work to do on the human side as well. And I'm committed to working with our mayor to eradicate those problems of the local residents, because this is not just a tourist attraction. It's a place people live. This is their home. Never lose sight of that either. But when anyone, locals, visitors, come to this space, we want them to know that this is a place that we'll never abandon. This is a great, strong community. And we have an opportunity to do something to amplify the beauty of this area, then we must do it. We have over 9 million people come here a year. 9 million people find their way to the falls. The rest of the experience beyond looking at this with jaw-dropping wonder has to be extraordinary. It has to meet the experience out there. And so we're going to give them more reasons to stay longer. We finally have the hotels to stay in. I can't tell you how many times for the last decade I walked past vacant lots and said, why isn't there something here? And today there's a hotel. Our industry was hit hard during the pandemic. It's been hard to bring everybody back. The restaurants and hotels, we've suffered. Not just Niagara Falls, the entire state. We have to bring people back and bring back that energy. And we have so many attractions. The Aquarium. I've been coming here since I was a little kid. It is amazing. It's amazing. And I want to make sure that we're showcasing everything we've done there, the new exhibits, the penguin exhibit, the shark exhibit, the stingray exhibit. They're all fabulous. And I want to make sure that people know it's not just that, but it's also the park, the power plant, incredible visitor center at the power plant. If you've not been there, I take everybody who visits me to that power plant. The visitor center is second to none. The trolley, the connection that's created, it all makes so much sense. But today, we're starting the new project that's been talked about for a long time. People didn't think would happen. The new Niagara Gorge Discovery Center project. Look how magnificent that looks. It's a $5 million Great Lakes 360 project. Empire State Development is investing $675,000. It'll be a partnership between the Aquarium and New York State Parks. And it'll highlight the notable wildlife of the river and the larger ecosystem and educational experience. It'll have exhibit design and visitors from all over. We're going to enjoy this experience year-round. And some of you may have heard, I'm a new grandma. I'm not saying the 7-month-old is ready to come just yet, but when she sees her grandma in all her glory, I'm going to bring her here. Because right now, my granddaughter who lives far away thinks I'm this big because I only see her when I FaceTime on my phone. So she's going to see a bigger grandma someday, and I'm going to bring her right here and let her know how incredible this place is. So I can't wait to bring her here as well. So we're announcing the Niagara Falls Heritage Gateway projects, building on the strength of the Aquarium, an anchor attraction, and we know what we need to do. We need to continue driving people from the falls to the downtown and surrounding neighborhoods. Investments here. So that's the whole impetus between this gateway concept. We purchase vacant properties and underutilized properties all across Niagara Falls because they were just sitting there, almost taunting us, saying, you're not going to be perfect until these places are brought to their former glory or even better. So we seized this opportunity, we revitalize them, we reconnect them together, and now we're creating a better sense of community, and also providing people the opportunity to explore the falls outside the park, Niagara Falls, the city. So we have 5 projects I'm going to announce. It's a $12 million investment. We're going to have a multi-use pavilion and event space at DeFranco Park, accommodate outdoor performances, recreation, public gathering, events up to 1,400 people in partnership with Niagara Falls. That's going to be a fabulous attraction. Coming up with names, Niagara Falls Gorge Performance Center, perhaps? Want to take a vote on that? Do we like that? All right. Just brainstorming here a bit. You can do what you want. How about reinterpreting Niagara Falls Power Company's the hydraulic canals? I mean, people don't even know the story of how this was so brilliant in its inception that people still marvel at how this was undertaken so many years ago to harness power that is traveling all across the state of New York, and there were canals that facilitated this. So we'll have a public plaza that illustrates the story, the history of the large-scale electricity production and the effects it had on American society, and the Pan Am exhibition. And when we're not learning something, let's have some fun. Let's go roller skating there, ice skating in the wintertime. This can be a great attraction. And also, you can never have enough views of the river, so we're constructing an observation deck along the upper river to have panoramic views of the American Rapids and Goat Island. It's going to be stunning. And it'll have work within the tree coverage. I hike over there all the time. A lot of nice trees, so let's not mess with the trees. Let's provide opportunities for outdoor seating and just let people sit there and just bask in the wonder and hopefully appreciation when they leave. And also, we want to continue further moving into the city. A pocket park on Buffalo Avenue and First. Let's reactivate the streetscape. Let's make that inviting as well. And an interpretive park at the Cataract House Hotel Historic Site. This is a great story. I have been a student of the Underground Railroad since I was 8 years old and checked out the books at the library. It was my escape. I had a big family, and the only place I could find quiet from all my siblings was to go to the library. And they had a series called Childhood of Famous Americans. And I picked up the book about Harriet Tubman. And as a child, I knew her story, and to this day, I have a sculpture of her that I brought to my office in the Capitol. So I want people to know the place in history that Niagara Falls had, the untold story that needs to be revealed. So we'll have this historic stop on the Underground Railroad. We'll talk about how African-American staff played a prominent role in helping freedom seekers escape to Canada. By day, they put on their suits and waited on people, and by night, they were part of this army of individuals that were risking their own lives to help others seek freedom. It's extraordinary. So we're going to keep investing, building on the past investments of the past. The state park has benefited from over $150 million in the last 10 years. We're going to continue investing, the Cave of the Winds, over $7 million there. People have seen how beautiful that is when you can actually get that up-close experience. People are in awe of that. What we did with Maid of the Mist, too. We were just there. We were just reminiscing how we were there. Electric boats, first in the nation, I believe. Last time I was there, we were putting on the beautiful blue iconic plastic garbage bags over our heads. And we had a great experience. And I checked on all the construction when I was there at the $46 million state-of-the-art Welcome Center, and that's moving along beautifully. So we've done a lot, and I want you to know I am committed. Again, we mentioned almost $12 million worth of hotels, 600 new rooms, renovating almost 500 more. But we're starting to see the impact. Occupancy is going up. People are coming. And I'm really excited about what we're doing. And also last year we awarded $10 million to the downtown revitalization to enhance the Bridge District. That's one of my favorite projects. When I was on the town board in Hamburg, if someone came to my community and says, well, come up with a concept where if you had hypothetically $10 million, what would you do with your community? No one ever did that. But I know now what the power that is and how transformative it is for the communities, and that's exactly what we're doing here now. So I want people to know that this is a place that matters. It has a glorious past, has a phenomenal future, and as the governor who knows every inch of the state park here and has walked the streets and gone to Italian restaurants and strolled and gone to the culinary institute, I have been everywhere. I cherish this community and never ever take for granted this gift you have to live in a place as extraordinary as Niagara Falls. So let's continue to tell the story. Let's elevate it. Let's continue making these investments and tell the world there's no better place to be right here, right now in Niagara Falls. And with that, let me welcome up our mayor to tell us what his plans are. Sound like enough? First, he's always going to say, "Can you do more? Can you do more? Can you do more?" I always feel like my pocket's getting picked when I come here, but it works.
Thank you so much, Governor. It's always great to see you. I can tell you that. First of all, let me say, with regard to the weather, it's nice to have a governor who gets it, the whole Western New York thing, and what we're going to be facing. So I know as an executive in one of the municipalities upstate, I'm comfortable that you're there because I know that you know what we're facing and that you'll be ready for it. So thank you so much for that leadership. With regard to the City of Niagara Falls and the plans for the future, these announcements today are part of what I would like to think is a multifaceted, multi-pronged attack on trying to create Niagara Falls as that place that the governor has so eloquently described relative to its past and where we're headed in the future. Niagara Falls has for a long, long time struggled to find its pace. And with the help of this governor, who clearly understands the importance of this community, not just to the Western New York region, but really to the state, her commitment to our community is very much appreciated by all of us who live here. I tell everyone that when I speak to them about this new state administration, I don't have to talk to Governor Hochul at length about what we need here. I literally can say just a few words and she finishes the sentences because she's so familiar with what we are. She's familiar with what we need. She's familiar with what is necessary to jumpstart this community. We're committed, our administration's committed to building on that partnership. The governor mentioned the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. We're prepared to take the partnership that the state has handed to us, and we're going to hold developers accountable. We're going to do the things that are necessary to make sure that the state's investment isn't wasted. More than anything else, I want to take advantage of the great commitment that this administration has to the city of Niagara Falls. And, the announcements today with these additional spots along the upper and lower Niagara, the commitment that the state has made to growing this community and really reaching into the city, as well as, of course, the great work being done here at the Aquarium and how our executive director of the Aquarium, Gary Sedal, is growing this place from, me too, Governor. I used to come here as a kid, and the dolphins were here back then. But now seeing this place in a different way and really watching it grow to really become a destination for our visitors and locals. It's also interesting to see the aquarium's reach to our local, our schools and getting kids in here to see what we are. Most especially, I appreciate the governor's commitment to the city itself. I've lived here my whole life and have been through a number of state administrations that stay committed, obviously, to the state's investment in Niagara Falls, and that's wise. But we have a governor now who is not just committed to those things, and she's very much committed to that, but she's also committed to this city. She's committed to the locals who are here. Yes, over 9 million people come here. They'll start sometime in mid-April. As I say, they start around April 15th. If we all went away, they'd still come. And they're going to be here till Election Day in November. They come like clockwork. But what's more important to me, and a message that I have conveyed to the governor, and I know that she gets, there's 12 million people that live 90 minutes east and west of Niagara Falls, 12 million. And I consider them locals. And what we need to do is make sure those locals have something to do in the times when you got to be pretty fierce. I happen to like it down there, but you have to be pretty fierce to go into the state park, say in January, February. It's a beautiful place. If you haven't been there and you're a local, you're missing out. It's beautiful. But I don't expect somebody from Tempe, Arizona to come here for that. But I would expect somebody from the greater Toronto area, the greater Rochester area, because the weather's the same. So there's no reason why we can't give them some reason to come here. And so we have some plans in the works that we're talking with our partners, both in the private sector as well as our partners along the state government level, to build a more exciting adventure here, more exciting attractions and amusement for our community. The idea is not just about I like games and I like sports and I like concerts, but it's really too about putting our hospitality workers into a full-time workspace. I happened to visit a hotel a few weeks back, actually the Cambria that's being built. While I was there, the owner said to me, 2 weeks ago we were tripping over one another, and here we are now, we had to lay people off. That has to stop. We can't have a hospitality industry that's seasonal. And the only way to do that is for us to grow more exciting things to do in those periods of the year that aren't the times when people are just going to come and watch the beauty of the falls. And so we're committed to that in our administration, and we're also committed to helping those people who are in the hospitality industry have that full-time employment, because full-time employment begins to attack poverty. Poverty begins to grow a better community. And so it's more than just like in basketball and hockey. It's really about how do we make lives full for the people who live here. I know that the governor understands that, and I know that she also embraces that. And that's what gives our administration comfort that when we have these conversations with them, they get it. And they understand that what we have to do here is grow this community. And so let me just close by saying two things. One, I appreciate Governor Hochul. I appreciate your continued commitment to our community. I know that over the course of time that we get to work together, I'm excited about what the future holds. I always appreciate your commitment. I think this is going to be a fabulous investment and partnership because, you know, the aquarium is part of the fabric of this community. It's been here. And Gary, before I bring you up, I just want to congratulate you for your commitment to growing this place. You know, I know your history, I know your story, starting here, working here, and now all of a sudden the place you're at. And it's easy to stand still with anything. You don't have to, if you don't want to think, you don't have to think. But you've done that. You've been thinking since you became the director, and you've been growing this place, and this is just another step in that journey. So please, let me introduce to all of you the Executive Director, Gary Siddell.
Well, we've covered storms and economic development and tourism, and now the animal guy's up here to close things out, which is a good spot to be. Governor, you know, we were talking about the octopus and your visit with the very handsy octopus, and tentacles is the right word. And as I said to you before we started, I can't believe that threatened you because you do politics for a living. And it just felt like the octopus didn't have much on that, but it's all good. And you're correct, we are less tame today with our spotted turtles we'll get to shortly. So Governor, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a fan, for being a supporter, for being an animal lover, and having the city of Niagara Falls back. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you for being here and for your support. Mayor, likewise to you. You're out here an awful lot. I've joked often that I owe you a parking spot, and probably a preferred one. You may even be able to take my spot at this point because you're here so much, so thank you for that. I greatly appreciate your commitment and dedication. Of course, our assemblyman and senator are not able to be here today doing hard work out in Albany, but want to thank them for their commitment to the aquarium and constantly advocating on behalf of the great work that we are so dedicated to fulfilling. This whole project, being here in the Niagara Gorge Discovery Center, is possible because of a partnership with New York State Parks. And if you don't know the crew of people that make that agency operate, you're missing out because the group that we've had the privilege to work with on this entire project blow my mind at every step of the way. Starting with Mark Mistretta, Vinny, Ange, the entire crew at State Parks here is incredibly dedicated, incredibly hardworking, and they are as an interested party at getting barriers and obstacles out of the way as I am. And my staff will tell you I have some rampant impatience, so I appreciate that you all find it charming because many people don't. But thank you for being an amazing partner, for being an amazing agency and providing this region this amazing asset. So I have to stop there for a round of applause. Thank you. Of course, I am supported by a tremendous board of trustees, several of which are joining us here today, and an amazing, amazing staff. Again, I joke about impatience all the time, of which I will own, and that staff, you know, they smile every time when I say we need to go faster, we need to get done quicker, we need to get more and more and more and more and more, and they sigh, and then they do it, and they get it done, and I'm so grateful for the staff that make that happen every day. So again, a round of applause for that group of people. So what an exciting day for the Aquarium of Niagara, a fully funded $5 million project that, sure as you are born, we will get done, and we're going to do it quickly. We're going to have this project completed by spring of 2024 because it's not doing a lot of good for this region and this community with the doors shut. And as the mayor alluded to, there are things to do in the winter. If you don't want to sport the parka and take a stroll through the park, you can come hang out with some fish, some seals, some sea lions. So those are things that we can provide here. It's only really possible because of the Robert Moses Parkway removal. Prior to the removal of that, most of us would have been dodging 55-mile-an-hour traffic to walk from the aquarium to this site. So again, Governor, thank you for your commitment and all of your work over the years to make sure that the parkway came out. Today's exciting because it marks the formation of a campus for the aquarium. It's not about one building anymore, it's about two. It's about a larger, more substantial destination of the community, a community hub, a community asset, and a place for learning. And we're so excited to be expanding on that today. It's sort of interesting because for 57 years, the aquarium's wanted to expand, and we're here with the 57th governor. So how perfect is that? We'll be increasing the number of exhibits in our building by 40%. We are open year-round. You'll be able to move between the two buildings. All of those things are elements that are going to ultimately ensure that this project delivers the most substantial impact that it can for the community. And it's more than just fish. We're going to bring in some amphibians, some reptiles like our turtles here today, even some insects. So we're being really, really thoughtful about the way that we program this space. And we are, in fact, building on our proven track record. We've been very busy over the past several years, many of those projects being directly supported by the state of New York. In fact, $15 million at the completion of this project have gone in over the last 5 years to open projects like our penguin exhibit, our jellyfish exhibit, our shark and stingray exhibit, our welcome plaza, and our event room. And Governor, I think you either broke the ground or cut the ribbon on all of those because there's been a lot of activity, and we thank you for that. Of course, all of those projects, those funds, those dollars, those budgets are not made possible without direct support from the people that care about our mission. So I need to specifically recognize our donors, our funders in both the private and public sector, some of which are here today. We have representation from the Eastil Foundation as well as the National Grid, and those funding partners make this happen. We funded this $5 million project in 13 months. That has got to be some kind of record, and we're very excited for that. So thank you to all of our funders. There's a very, very, very long list of them, and we appreciate all the support. So in closing, it's an exciting day for the aquarium. We are so proud to be able to stand here with our staff, with our partners, with our funders, and talk about what we're going to bring to this community. We're going to connect visitors to aquatic life, and we're going to do the one thing we are so good at, and that is inspiring people to care more about the animals that call this world their home. So we're so excited to make that the priority, to celebrate with our partners, and with that, we're going to now invite some of those partners up for a small photo op with some of the animal ambassadors that will call Great Lakes 360 their home in spring of '24. Thank you.
There you go, right there. Okay, Governor in the middle there. Next to Gary, Mayor. This side, John. Okay, perfect. So this way. Sorry. Perfect. This concludes our program. Thank you all for coming. Get home safe.